Grand Rising, everybody. Today is now day 5 of week 3, and we're going to be getting into a little bit of everything today. I'm going to be going to the hardware store first and foremost. I'm going to try and get some more of that mold and mildew paint. I got the carpet out from under the toilet and under the bathroom sink, and I cleaned up that area, so I'm going to be painting that. And then I'm going to be doing these walls. I also need to save some for the board that's going to be going on top of the floor for the battery. It's just a structural support, and as well as the bed platform. So I gotta have those painted. And another thing that we're going to be doing today is removing one of the PEX lines. And you may be asking, why on earth would you want to remove one of your PEX lines? Well, let me tell you. So originally this RV came with a water heater tank, right? And I have it removed. It's currently on the side of the road. It's this big metal tank that would bring in cold water. It would heat it up using the propane, and then it would send it out of the hot water line. Well, those lines were no longer connected to it, as I had a tankless hot water heater that I am contemplating putting back in because it wasn't vented outside, and I don't want to run the risk of having any carbon monoxide poisoning or anything like that, and I don't really have a place for putting it where I could vent it outdoors. And honestly, I really don't use hot water. Like, I don't take hot showers. I obviously don't brush my teeth with hot water. Occasionally I'll wash my face with hot water, but it's really far and few between that I need hot water. And if I really need hot water, I can just boil some water and then let it cool off a bit. So the water will be the temperature of the air, pretty much, like whatever the temperature is in here. The water tank is in here. It's not going to be super cold, it's not going to be super hot, it'll just be, you know, whatever. So I'm cool with that, and just having one. I would only have one water line anyways, and the reason being is originally the hot water, like the water tank is here. Let me show you guys. The water tank is here, as we all know by now, and then the water pump is here, and then that line goes behind the sink as well as connecting to the city water outlet, and then it goes up to the sink, around to the shower, and then around to this sink. And this is where the water heater used to be, and they would connect in there, and then the hot water tank, the hot water line would run off a T this way and then this way, and it would feed everything with hot water. But we don't have that anymore. So this line is literally connected to nothing. It just went up to the sink, which I already disconnected. And then it would just go around to that sink and to the shower, but it has no water source. And I don't plan on connecting that to the water pump, because I don't want to make my life harder than it needs to be, just to have two little faucets to turn on when I could just have one. And I plan on doing that anyways, because for the kitchen sink I want to have a new faucet that's just one lever. Same with the bathroom sink, and same with the shower, just one lever. I don't need the water mixer. I couldn't care less. So I discovered that line is just totally in the way, and it's taking up space, and it's going to be in the way of how I install my shower pan, because it's running straight across. So if I could just cut one line and make a 90-degree bend, or it's close to a 90-degree bend, I don't want it to be super rigid water flow, but if I could just have this one go along where the wires are, then I can build out my frame a lot easier, because I don't need to have two lines stacked or sticking out more than they need to be. So we're going to be removing that, and I think it will be exciting. because then I only have one line to worry about in terms of maintenance. If ever something were to occur, I only have to check one line, and that's a lot easier than having to check two. With that being said, no water would be flowing through it anyways, but it's just a nice discovery to have made because I honestly didn't know this. So now that I have a good idea as to how this RV works electrically and in terms of plumbing and things of that nature, I feel a lot more comfortable just knowing the fact that I'm going to be living in here full time for a little while, traveling and whatnot. Understanding how everything works is super important, at least to me. So that's the plan. I also took out the sink plumbing because as I was moving around under here, I noticed that, like, when I moved it, it shifted a bit, and then it started to leak out of the side here, just a one little drop, and I'm like, we are not dealing with a leaky P-trap again for the sink. There's just no way on earth we're going to do that. So I realized that when this is on, because this is just a seal, and then it just slides on, and it's like a snug fit. I barely pushed it on, and it stays on, like if it's all the way up to there or whatever. But there's room for it to like move like this, and so it had moved like that, and then there became a gap, and it was dripping out. So either I'm going to have to like cement this piece on, and then seal this with like a waterproof silicone sealer just to be 100% safe, and then if I ever need to take it off, I'll just take off the silicone. I'll just peel it off, scrape it off, whatever's necessary, and then yeah, so I think I'm gonna hold off on it since I'm not using the sink. We're gonna just wait it out just in case I change the sink and then I also have to change the plumbing. Like if I were to just get a sink that's one piece with like one faucet, drain, sorry. And then it would just come down straight into one pipe, and it would probably be in the middle, so I'd have to change the plumbing a little bit. So we're just gonna wait that out, and then we'll see where we're at in the future. But it's just one of those things that is annoying, but I'm really happy I noticed it now rather than just leaving it like that, and then as I'm actually living in here, I experience little droplets of water on my freshly painted surface. Even though it's mold and mildew resistant, I still don't want a leaking P-trap. This is not cool. So I think what we're gonna do is take this line out, and then we're gonna hit the hardware store, and we're gonna look for some of that paint. I had already gone last night to 2 locations and it was sold out, so we're gonna hit another one and see if we can find it there, and then if not, we're going to another one. I'm determined to get that paint. I really like that paint. It went on really good, and it has good reviews and things like that. So I really wanna get that sorted out today, and then finish painting over by the toilet, which I'm sure you've seen already, but let me formally show you. The toilet is out. It's all cleaned up. The carpet is out. And it goes all the way back to there. But it's obviously a little tricky to see that. But
you know, it's looking a lot better than that rusty carpet. And luckily the floor is in really good condition. Just slightly dirty, but what do you expect? I'm just happy it's not black and there's no water damage and anything like that. So I know there was no leaks over here with the water pump or the bathroom sink or the toilet. So that's good news in my books. Also, this plumbing is looking pretty solid, and I am wanting to change out this sink, but we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. So, one thing at a time. I'm gonna put this stuff in here, honestly, because I have nowhere else to put it. That's a safe spot. So that's going there. And without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, so it's zip tied onto the main plumbing drain line. And I got that one off, and now I need to get that one off, and this one's a little bit trickier to get. So when I get that off, you'll hear from me soon. Alright. Okay, so I got both of the zip ties off, and I just unscrewed this because it'll make everything a lot easier. So if I just pull on this. Ow. Hopefully I'm not fucking anything up. Woohoo! One piece is out. Now let's get this other piece out. Okay, so it is out. I only have the one PEX line. But I guess there was some remaining water in it, and when I was taking it out, it spilled all here, and here, and here, and back here, and over here, and then it dripped over there. It sat there, and a bit there, and now it's soft and wet here. I don't know if this is actually soft and wet from that water, or if it was just already too soft. But it's soft. I know this was already like a sensitive area, but it's just really soft right there, and the paint came off. So I gotta get that to dry. All of this to dry. It's super humid today. It was raining all morning, and now it's just really hot. So I think I'm gonna bring a fan in here while I go to the hardware store. And I'm gonna let everything dry because this was just too much humidity. So here it is. I actually ended up cutting one small piece. The piece that was attached to the bathroom sink, because there was too much wiring and other plumbing in the way, and I didn't want to mess with any of that stuff. This was coming out anyways, so I just cut it right there. And the piece that I cut it at, of course, is the piece that leaked out. So that's fun. Probably gonna try and like take these apart and keep these extra pieces just in case I need a replacement. And also I'm gonna use some of this to extend what's in there and make my 90-degree bend. at this corner, so this will come back a bit. Hopefully the shower piece will still reach, because I'd rather not have to extend that. But yeah, so ideally I wanted this to go all the way back. The propane line and these cords are in the way, so I can't push it all the way back, but I managed to get it out from underneath on just the floor here, and it's not touching the ground anymore. And then this will come back as much as I can. Honestly, this is probably as much as I'll be able to get it to go back, so it'll be like this. Obviously it'll be on the other side, but it'll kind of just be like this. And that's cool with me, because there's not a whole lot I can put there, and I wouldn't be like stacking it up crazy anyways, because it's a super difficult spot to reach. So that should be fine like that. I just want to push this over a little bit more to get it out of the way, because my battery and stuff will be there. So to have it against the wall, I'll just use one of those clips, like one of these guys, and just bolt it up against the wall, so it'll just stay there and stay out of the way, keep from moving. And then I'll do the same with that one, just to keep everything sturdy and not shaking around. And then here, since I need to take this out, I'll just make my cut on either side of this, and then bring this over and then extend that piece. Basically I'll just be doing that, so I can reuse the one from the other set unless I decide to get new ones, and then this will extend over and it'll just meet there in the corner. So that's my plan. Since I'm not having a flushing toilet, I'm gonna be using a composting toilet, and then I'll just run my urine diverter to this, which I'm going to cut pretty much almost flush. Yeah, basically flush, and then I'm gonna have my pipe for the urine diverter just run from that straight down into this tank, which I'll have to like jimmy rig somehow. Ideally, what I was thinking was to just cut this flat with the ground, put a cap on it and seal that, and then just have a smaller hole in the cap for the pipe to run through. It'll just be something similar in size to that, if not that exact type. So that'll just run into there, and then I'll just seal it with a marine silicone sealer, unless I can think of something better to use. Like maybe I'll use some ABS cement and then put that on top, just to make sure it's secure and doesn't leak. The hose will be running down relatively deeper into there, so it's not like it's going to be like just at the surface, so it won't run the risk of leaking, but it's more of just like a smell containment thing. So there's that. So that's what I'll be doing for the toilet. And then this piece here, I'm not sure if you can see, all these wires are in the way, but this is a 90-degree bend right here. So clearly you can use 90-degree bends. And then I just have to, whoa, sorry guys. I'm just gonna have to seal up this hole, because that runs out to the outside, and I don't want bugs coming through there. I'm also probably gonna add a little bit there, just cause why not? I don't see why you wouldn't do that. So that's that. And now that this mess is cleaned up, we're gonna try and get that paint on here soon. So it's like right there. That's soft. So that definitely wasn't from this, because nothing else is like that. Which makes me wonder, like, is there moisture coming in from the bottom? I've already sealed this off, so I'm kind of confused. That one little spot there. We'll see how that dries out. I'm gonna go get the fan, and then we're gonna hit the hardware store. Oh, you're upside down. Peace, guys. Alright guys, I just got back from the hardware store. Well, several of them. And I ran around pretty much to every place I could think of, and there weren't any more of those paints. I just wanted 2 quarts, and they didn't have it anywhere, and then I was told they had it at this place, and they said they put it aside for me, and I drove pretty far to go get it, and it wasn't there. So I don't know what to think, but yeah, that's where we're at with that. So we're not going to be doing the paint, finishing that paint today. And I also discovered something rather unfavorable, so spirits are a bit low today, but let me show you what I'm talking about. Of course you know it's over here. I had to have the fan on it, so you can have your guesses, but I had to rip all that out because it was soaking wet. Remember how down here I was like, oh, it's soft, it's a bit wet. Yeah, well, turns out the whole reason why all of this rotted out in the first place is simply due to the fact that there's a leak somewhere back here. Like, it's still moist up here, so I know it's farther up. It's probably coming from up there at the roof and making its way down, because I sealed everything and I checked everything and it's super sealed. Like, super sealed. So this was all really wet. It's dry now that I've had the fan on it. But I poked a little hole here with my finger, and I'm like, there was a puddle down here before. So it's all dry now. I cleaned it up. I sprayed it with the mold spray, but I'm going to have to take this entire wall out, as well as the ceiling, and try and locate where it's coming from, and then address that, and then rebuild the shower pretty much in its entirety. Because I'm going to have to remove this if I want to just take the wall out, like, because the line is, the cut for the wall is there. Otherwise I just kind of like try and cut the wall, but I have to remove those, and then I'm gonna have to figure out what to do about the wires, because if I take all that out, I'm gonna have to unplug all those wires to be able to put them back through. I can't like work around that in any sort of way. So this is really not fun, not ideal situation. And yeah, I'm really not happy about that. But what can you do, man? 38-year-old RV. So I'm gonna address that I have some stuff I need to take care of, so we're not going to do it right now. But on the bright side, I have my buddy fabricating the feet for the steel support beam, which will be going right here, and it'll be going underneath the wood, and it'll be helping support not only the ceiling, but it'll be used for the unistruts that I'm going to be putting on for the solar panels. So the only thing is, I'm not sure what I'm going to do about this spot, because I need something to bolt into here, because this is where a couple of them are going to end, and then some of them will keep going. So on the sides it's cool, but here I might need to put like one or two, but I'm not sure how I'm going to manage that, because the first one is going in there, then there, then there, and then the one I'm getting fabricated is going to be right here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 points of contact. But if it's going all the way to here, I can't just not have anything on the end. So that's another thing I have to figure out. But honestly, guys, we're gonna end today's video here, unfortunately, because there's just a lot of stuff I need to figure out, and I don't have the means to do that right now, nor do I have the patience at the moment. So I don't mean to be a drag, but that's how it's gonna be today. Not every day can be all sunshine and rainbows, so we're gonna take this one on the chin, and we'll come back at it tomorrow, and we'll see what we can get done. But as always, remember to keep love in your heart, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace and love. Okay, so I just got my support beam back. It's all welded, and he painted the ends for me so that it doesn't rust, and those welds are looking mighty tidy. And I haven't been able to get it up yet because this wood's in the way, but it looks pretty perfect. It's dark, but I'm working on the shower area to see about getting this wall off, just so I can get some peace of mind as to how I'm going to fix this. And with that being said, I took off this support for the shower, which was barely being supported. It was 2.5 screws, and look what I found. Like, that is crazy. Ladybug nest. And they're all just petrified, like super dried up and stuck to the wall. So I'm gonna vacuum that up. A whole bunch of them fell. And I'm gonna vacuum up this corner, and we're going to work away into the night. So stay tuned, y'all. Alright, guys, as you can see, I've made an absolute mess. I had to take out the fiberglass up here. There's a rounded area, and it's not wet up here. So my thoughts is that it's these lights that were leaking, specifically this one. Otherwise, it's something in the corner, or it's beneath this area, which I can't access right now. And this wall isn't an actual wall, it's just insulation, and has the tiniest layer of like fake wood on top. So I'm not entirely sure how I'm gonna get that out, but it's just the steel frame here, and then at the bottom there's a wooden frame, which is rotted. So I'm gonna have to replace that. But this is literally just the vinyl. Like, there's nothing after that. It's the outside after that, and I'm really not sure what is the cause of this, because this entire thing is wet, like the entirety of it. So I'm really not sure what it is. The fiberglass insulation's not wet, so it's not coming from above there, so we know that. So my guess is it's from these lights. It's pulling on this metal bar, and then it's just dripping all behind the wall continuously. My guess is it's been like this for many, many, many years, because this was not disclosed when I bought the RV. Matter of fact, everything that I've fixed was not disclosed. There was no mention of any water damage of any sort, any leak anywhere other than the kitchen sink P-trap. That was the only thing that was mentioned. And I've gone ahead and pretty much torn apart the entire RV, and I've found countless areas that needed to be addressed, such as under the old water tank there, in the corner there, over there, this corner here, this entire bathroom stall, a leak over by that heater, a leak over by this window, that dreaded corner in the loft that was my first run-in with massive water damage, and now I'm dealing with this. And I just pray to the Lord that this is the last piece that I have to deal with, because I'm not tearing out any other walls in this RV. It's just not happening. It doesn't look like I need to, because if that were the case, the floor would tell me everything I need to know, because water and gravity are friends. So I've got this massive piece of the wall out just now. I got all that out down there. I got this top piece out. So I'm gonna bring this outside, because it doesn't fit through my makeshift garbage chute like everything else. So we're gonna bring this out. We're gonna get back to it, and I'm gonna get this all taken out tonight. I don't care how long it takes. We're totally over this, because we're gonna get to this, and then we're going to determine tomorrow where on God's green earth that water's coming from. If it's one of these lights, fine, that's easy to fix. I sealed it though, so I'm not sure how that happened, unless this is just really all old stuff. But there was water in that corner today, and I don't know how it would stay wet for that long, but I guess it's possible. But yeah, we're gonna tear all this out, because it's necessary, and then we're going to reevaluate. So I will see y'all shortly. Deuces. Alright, so I got pretty much everything out except this wooden frame. I believe that it holds in the tail light, the brake light, and the reverse light. So unless I take that out, I don't think that's coming out. I just sprayed it with more mold spray, so that's why it looks all wet. But I actually had an issue with this pipe, which is the drain pipe for the sink that goes to the gray water tank. On 2 occasions it leaked. Like, I was standing here just working on the wall, and it leaked onto my foot, and I don't know how, because there's no running water in there, and I felt all around it, and like, there's absolutely no dent, crack, hole anywhere that I can feel on the top, bottom, side. So I really don't know how that how that is happening right now. I'm gonna have to just pour water down the sink and then watch it and see if it leaks again. If that's the case, I'm gonna have to cut that out and replace that ABS pipe, which is not ideal. But I don't see how it would be leaking right now, because I was using this sink. Many people have been using this sink for a long time, including myself, just to test everything. And I just took the toilet and the carpet out the other day, and it was totally dry underneath, and the carpet wasn't wet, and nothing like that, and the floor wasn't damaged or anything. So I really don't see what's going on in that sort. The only thing I could think of is possibly that, other than that having a leak, is this shooting up water and just spilling over onto this, because the top of it was wet as well initially, but I don't see any water in here whatsoever. But I don't know, it's just really weird. And other than that, I got all of the wall out. This is literally just the vinyl, which is the outside, the last layer for the outside, and above here is totally dry. Everything looks good. The fiberglass insulation was dry, and then this whole entire wall was just soaked. Behind it, on top of it, it's starting to dry out now, but mainly this corner, and it's pretty dry now, but here was really wet. And it's leading me to believe that the issue is these lights on the back are letting in some water, even though I sealed them. Or it's old water that's been trapped in here for a while, and I've only just really started to notice it. But it was wet down here earlier today in this corner, which is fairly dry now. And so I'm really at a loss in terms of what's going on. There's like little driblets. So yeah, I'm really not sure what's going on entirely. But I can't even get all of this out because it goes behind this frame of this wall, and it's attached to this wall. Down there looks totally fine. Oh, okay. And there's no like wet spots at the floor there or anything like that behind the wall. The wall doesn't feel soft. So I don't really have anything to say about that. The only thing that's weird is this, but that was like that on the other side too, so it's just the piece that was here where the fiberglass insulation is, so it's obviously a bit soft. And yeah, I'm not too sure what's going on here. It's all just a bit weird. So I'm gonna cut this off as well and just see what's going on behind there. But I'm left with my aluminum frame, and I'm gonna dry everything out. I'm gonna spray water on it tomorrow, and we'll see if I notice any water coming in anywhere, and then we're gonna seal it, and then eventually we will redo this wall. So there's that. And I have a mass amount of trash underneath me and over on the side of the RV that I need to take care of sooner than later. It's like 1 in the morning, so I think we're gonna call it quits here. I know I initially said that I was gonna end the video way earlier today. It was like 7 p.m. But I ate, and then I decided, well, might as well come back out and just get it done. So here we are, and it's done. So this step of the process is finished for the most part, other than getting that wood out. And then we just put new insulation in and rebuild the shower. And I'm gonna do that only once I figure out what pan I'm gonna use, and when I reroute this water or extend this PEX line and make sure that this isn't leaking, this drain pipe and things of that nature. So the shower is going to be a long time coming, but things are slowly coming along. The bed area is pretty much finished without the platform. I just am not going to finish this out until I have all my solar and things like that beneath there. And then get a new fridge, get a new sink here, get a new kitchen sink, faucet, and then paint everything and finish the loft. And then that's pretty much that for the main parts of things, and then it's just little stuff after that. So without further ado, I'm officially finally ending this video. And as always, remember to keep loving your heart. Peace, guys.